Talent. Welcoming everybody out to another edition of Beautiful Monday. We like to call it Motivation Mondays. Yeah, that was some music there. We like to motivate you with a little sound as well. Anyway, like I always like to start the show off, ladies and gentlemen, and listeners and viewers. How was your weekend? And again, not that rhetorical. It might be rhetorical right now because I'm on one side of the airwave and you're on the other side of the headphone, but not rhetorical to oneself. When I say how's your weekend, that was homework for you to go inside your brain and really think about, like, how was my weekend? Was my weekend positive? Was it inspirational? Did I get stuff done? Do I feel better Monday because it carried over actually from my weekend? So I had a good weekend, which carries over into starting a good Monday. All right. Now, what I'm going to start doing, one new thing I'm going to start doing on all my motivational Mondays is going to start. I read a lot and I got a lot of books. I got a library myself, and it just keeps growing month in, month out. And I'm going to start, just picking out some books saying, hey, you come across this book, it's a good read. I'm pointing them out to people like this was sent to me again. This was sent to me over the weekend, so I'm about to dive into that this week. And it's talking about the works of James Baldwin. Now, everybody knows the infamous James Baldwin, but these excerpts and points made and bulletins in this book are somehow freakishly scary, come full circle, and fit today and everything we're going through. So I think that marks like genius work. Like that when your work can transcend past decades into another time since you go, damn, somebody wrote this 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. And it's like he's talking about what's happening today. We have to stay motivated. All my protesters and marchers and people out there in the front lines, stay motivated. Because if you're paying attention to the news, we have a new case to fight. You know what I mean? We have a new case to fight. A young father of three, I believe, gunned down, shot in the back. And, these are things that can discourage us from continuing on our motivated mission. But, hey, motivation works across the board. Whether I'm talking to somebody that needs just to get up out of the bed on a Monday and go to that workplace, especially during COVID season and pandemic time, or whether we're talking about those protests on the front line that are being threatened with federal guards and unmarked police vehicles, or so to speak, and just abducting them and throwing them in there and using all these tactics to go against them. You believe in what you believe in, and that would be equality, then guess what? We're here to motivate you as well. Now, when we formed it, I formed Motivational Mondays thinking more so along the lines of tough times, mostly financially, and being in this pandemic and out of work and all these things that we know, all of us know one thing to be true is that we are in this together, and there's a few type of people that's handling this. You got people that need this the most, that we got to talk off the ledge week in and week out. Then you have people who are not that far from being on the ledge. They could be a paycheck, an eviction, you know what I mean? A lien or anything that could just set that off and change their world instantly like that. So all these people is what we're trying to do when we motivate. So it's not one person or one type of person. We're across the board trying to make it happen. All right. I got some guests coming on this show as well today. That texting right now, making sure they on point. But these guests that I got coming in today, it's like really it's an amazing group of women, because I believe myself that it's woman season. Whether you are in denial and don't want to deal with that, there's a lot of fights and farceness going on right now. The fights are for equality. So that could be women fighting for their rights and equality. That could be students fighting for their rights in schools and trying to get these free colleges and some of this loan, this obsessive high interest rate absorbed. But whether it's that or that, you cannot deny in the last this decade here we've been dealing with, the last half a decade, that women have been fighting and scratching and clawing and very vocally letting you know that they want to be on the forefront as well. We want to be equal. You know what I mean? So I designed tonight and make it about the woman because it is woman season. You can't deny it. Whether you don't like it, it's another thing, but you can't deny it. And women are forced to be reckoned with, right? And we should all know that. I don't know why we fight it. We all got mothers, so most of us got sisters. So I don't know why you go through the motion of fighting it, whatever you're going through, it is what it is. So I invited a few of my sisters and these queens to come by Motivational Mondays during this hour to, first of all, tip my hat to them and what they do and what they've been doing. Thank them for even including me into such a thing, and just give them their props as motivators. Because I think that a lot of people, I've been using my platform for the last few months of picking these people out, whether it's the DJ that I see goes live every Thursday for 2-3 hours in his time and just in there doing his thing, something you would pay dollars for to enter a club and see him do his thing or be entertained by him. They're doing it. And by that little simple gesture, giving someone somewhere to go, they're motivated. And these sisters that I'm talking about today that, I want to bring in on the show are no different than that. I mean, these are sisters that, they've been holding it down in their own right in their own corners of the world and what they do. They just after something beautiful has brought them together to, collab. So the young sister, Twyla Johnson, I'm going to talk about it before they even get it, so save us some time on the intro. But Twyla Johnson is an entrepreneur in her own right. She's an agent. She's a manager. She's a casting director. She's a producer of shows out in LA, and she's worked with the best of them. If she hasn't booked the best of them, she's worked with the best of them. So she has that double, that double threat going on with the agent management thing. And she's booked a lot of people in commercials. If she was to show you her roster, you can look up Twyla Johnson. So she is, these are like the Charlie's Angels of motivating, right? Then you have Trish Mann Grant, who's also entrepreneur in her own right. She'll shout out her stuff. She's in the middle of releasing the book collections. As her acting chops are up to par. She's done her thing on many projects, worked with many people as well as an actress and an entrepreneur in the game. And then the third of Charlie's Angels would be the world famous Miss Coco Brown. Coco Brown is one of my colleagues in the comedy game. So obviously she is a queen in comedy, a stand-up icon and pillar in our comedy community. But on top of that, she's transcended into acting and done her thing. When I tell you she's done her thing on, Chicago Fire. I think that's one show she's on. You've probably seen her do a thing in some of the movies. She's been known to work with Tyler Perry. She had a lead character on For Better or For Worse for many seasons. And like I said, an entrepreneur, she'll tell you about her businesses that she got going on as well. But these three women collectively become my today's inspirational Charlie's Angels because it's three of them and what they do. So I just want to get them on here, get their perception, because when we go to work with the project they do every weekend, we talk to everybody else. So I never get to really talk to them or get behind the brain and have them in this position. So I think that's going to be great. All right. So as they come in the next couple of minutes, get ready for my three Charlie's Angels to come on here and us divvy it up and talk about what we got to talk about. All right. So in the meantime, this weekend passed. Like I asked people how was their weekend, and I want you to know about mine. Okay, got you. Got one in the studio. My weekend, I told people yesterday, I had an outdoor show yesterday in Jersey. I told people, I said, one thing the pandemic, two things actually, the pandemic and quarantine has brought to light who your real friends are. And also how important people to people is. You know what I mean? To us, like that human interaction we need. All right. So we're going to get into that as well when we talk to my Charlie's Angel. But the first queen is here, so I don't want to keep her in the green room too long as we go through Charlie's Angels, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess this will be the Farrah Fawcett of the crew, comedian extraordinaire, actress extraordinaire, entrepreneur now extraordinaire. Give it up for the tour queen of comedy. My girl Coco Brown is here on Motivational Mondays. Bring her on in here. I know she's looking all dolled up and beautiful. I've never seen her get on anything and not look at you. Look.
I am literally at my son's football practice. So when you talk about dolled up, I said, "Oh, honey, today y'all call me slipping."
You still look dolled up.
Well, thank you, baby. I just dropped my baby off. If y'all can see all them little kids out there, he's suited and booted. I had to get my baby all padded up and made sure he had his mouthpiece to make sure my baby was straight. Now I'm good.
That's all right. You made it.
I'm a football mama.
Hey, you know I called y'all Charlie's Angels, right?
For real?
Y'all my Charlie's Angels on the guest, and I already gave y'all intros and all that. Let's bring in Twyla Johnson, one of the other angels here. You the Farrah Fawcett, by the way, Coco.
I'll take that.
You
Let me
Farrah
throw my little hair over my eye. My little hair over my eye, yes.
I think Twyla's Sabrina.
Okay.
The one that plays Sabrina. What's up, Miss Johnson? How are you? Can you hear us? She don't look like she can hear us. Can you hear us? Unmute yourself, darling. Can you hear us? Twyla. Look how she's staring at.
We can't hear you.
Audio.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. No here.
Twyla, there you go.
Hey.
Can you hear it? There you go. You know, for somebody who works this every Saturday, you would think, you know.
Well, hey, guess what? I'm on my phone. I had to download it on my phone. I'm always on my computer, so I had to find out where the little gadgets were here on my phone.
Ah, okay. Well, you're on your phone. Turn your phone sideways so you can take up the screen. If you turn it sideways, it takes up the full screen there. You're good.
There we go.
So welcome to WIMS Radio. This is my Motivational Mondays, ladies. I was just applauding you guys the first 10 minutes of the show, trying to big up that what you guys do, what you have me being a part of. Thank you very much. We don't get to talk like this, so this is good. Girls Night In needs to be applauded because I think you guys do stuff and don't really recognize the motivational fact of it. That's why this fits this show, because you're motivating for what you do, regardless.
Thank you.
Do you feel that like we're in the middle of a pandemic, half the country still ain't got back in order, you know what I mean? And on Saturday night, 8:00 Western time and Eastern is 11, we come in there with Girls Night In, Trish Mann Grant, Twyla Johnson, and the world famous Coco Brown, and put it down. And I wanted to applaud you guys.
You're going to be kissing my tail for a minute how you had me retired and shit.
I heard.
Talent just retired me, y'all. I want y'all to know talent just took me out the business, had me retired. I'm in the comedy nursing home. I mean, honey, I'm sitting there looking at pictures of Ronaldo Ray. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I am done. I didn't know I was done.
Yo, you had me laughing so hard.
I said, I'm selling my DVDs on Time Life right after they sell them DVDs of the Whispers. This is terrible.
Hey, Coco, I was trying to be extra because her connection was so bad. Right. I was figuring like if we jump in there and say all type of stuff, we could kind of cover up for it, but it just kept getting worse.
You said she done knocked all the other female comics out the game. I said, oh, really? I've retired? I didn't know I had been sent to the comedy convalescent home.
Oh my God.
And I'm sitting up in there, child, with Paul Mooney. We just sitting around eating mashed bananas and talking about the good old days. Ain't nobody tell me. Ain't nobody tell me.
Yo, that's
Coco, you are so
listen,
funny.
First question I got for you guys, and then you know it's up for grabs. How did this start? Give me the background of how we got to a point where we have Saturday nights, Girls Night In. How did it start? How we call the people together, everything.
Okay, well, Talent, I don't know if you knew, but Coco, myself, and Trish, we shot this live. So we had Kiki and Shelia Cyphers were our first guest. And that's how I met Kiki, through Coco. And Coco said, yeah, my girl Kiki would do the show. And so we shot it live. And because I didn't want to just sit on the idea, I reached out to my beautiful ladies and said, I think I want to bring this show to Zoom. Let's Zoom if you guys are down. I know Coco's on another side of town, so I appreciate her for staying up and hanging in on Pacific Standard Time. I love you, Coco. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome, girl. Red Bull and cocaine works for you.
And Talent, I just wanted to bring you aboard because you are amazing, and I like what you're doing, and as far as giving us that good music on our social media platform where we can feel like we somewhere when we sitting on our couches.
Right.
So I wanted to add you in. I wanted to add you in the equation. So yeah, it was just that, until things get back to normal and people are comfortable with, sitting amongst people, we will go, we'll jump to that when it's time. But right now I felt like it could build up our fan base, because once it's shot live, it won't be with a live audience. It would only be with, what you see. And that's the DJ, the host and the guest. So I think that, it's entertaining, and, people are tuning in, and I just want to keep giving, I thank you guys once again for, hanging in, because you're also on another time zone, Talent, and you do your show after girls night in. After you're done, you jump into your own thing. So I thank you guys again, and we just want to continue to entertain people. Coco and Trish and I, we had a little meeting after Saturday's show. So, it may be Coco suggested, Coco, you know what it was. Coco suggested some very fun things to add to the show, some things we should pop into the chat. But we'll spring that up on our audience. But some just to say, hey, we appreciate y'all for entertaining
coming
us.
With some great things. Coming with some great things.
So it's exciting, and I appreciate all the input. And we just gonna try to stay on time and make sure we not having too much fun. With
it don't be us, y'all. It be them long-winded ass guests.
But
it don't be us, girl. We be trying to control the show, and the show has been taken over, honey. I was child. Me and Trisha talked today for like an hour and a half about that. We was on the phone cracking up because we were looking at each other like, "Girl, do something. No, you do something."
Coco, I said the same thing. I said, remember in the very beginning, we had the problem, and then we fixed the problem, and then the guests start getting long-winded. Like, I think there's a school out there how to answer questions long-winded, because there's some of them questions. He just went on. I was like it was a simple question. How you like acting? Well,
he gave us a dissertation. That was a dissertation. We were in class. I felt like a freshman at BCU all over again. That was a dissertation. I was like, when you get that look, like you have to catch yourself because people can see you. And I was just
right.
No, that was it. So, Coco, question for you. One thing Coco has a reputation for, for me knowing her over this 20 plus years. One thing about her reputation, and nobody can ever blemish her name and say that it's not true. She's a true and tried, what we call a workhorse, a stallion in this, to the point where if Coco says she's going to do something for you, Coco's going to do something for you. Like, Coco's not going to have stuff, whatever the case may be. So because she believes in this thing, and like you said, y'all filmed it at first, and she said, yeah, girl, let's do it and go on. We've watched Coco week to week literally spin a chair around from a film set, turn it this way, and end the Zoom show. And she's in Girls Night In. Hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. And got all her stuff together and everything. And I applaud you for that, Coco, because since I've known you, you've been this person. Right. Like, you don't have step. Like, you're either going to go hard or you're going to go home and leave it alone.
Absolutely. My daddy, that's how my daddy raised me. One of his famous sayings was, if you're not going to go all in, don't go in at all.
Right.
That's true.
That's what my daddy
I've been watching you do that forever. Yeah, you don't play around.
Nope. No. MC don't play, honey. MC don't play. He's like, you half-ass something in his house, you get a half-ass kick in the butt. My daddy don't play.
Coco be at a comedy show and the lineup be too long, show going too long. I'm like, I'm tired, man. Just give me my hand me the mic. Just bring me right up. And you bring it right up, and Coco straight. You 50 minutes in like this, like, where did the energy come from?
That's so funny.
Where did the energy? And then get off and go, that was great. Let me set my table up, sell my merch. I was just tired. I was, but I'm not anymore.
So funny.
Oh my God, that is me. That is me. It's like you'll be like, I'll come in the club and I'll be so tired. I'll be in the green room laid across the couch. Like they're like, girl, you all right? They giving me Red Bulls and stuff. People offering me drugs. I'm like, no, I'm good, you know. And then but talent, you know how it is as a comedian.
Yes.
It's something about touching that mic and the energy of the crowd. It is for a lot of us, that is our dope. That is our drug. And it does something to you. And that first big laugh is like someone just shot you up with the best dope ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you want another fix, and you want another fix. I always say comedy is my heroin, because when I get that first big laugh, you know, it's like, I want another fix. I want another fix. That's why, you know, I had to curb myself, because I got a little long-winded, because I became that real bad heroin addict, because I'd be on stage long after my time, and I got the rep for that. And I said, oh, hell no, I got to fix that, because I want people to put me on tour with them. So now it's like I will constantly look at my watch, and then I'll look at the light, and I'll look at somebody else and say, I'm good. Just let me know. So, but it's like you get that fix. It's like it's something about it. I went on stage this past weekend in Atlanta, and I hadn't been on stage since June. And that first laugh, I swear, was better than sex. It was like, oh,
Wow.
like I literally was like, I had to take a moment. It was like, you all right? I said, no, I think I just had an orgasm. Give me a second. Ooh, let me come back. Because it's like you don't hear that when you do these internet shows, and when you do these like social, like Instagram comedy shows. You're too busy reading the comments to see if somebody's laughing. You know, I'm looking for laugh emojis. I'm not hearing jack but myself. So, you know, it's something about, I could be extremely tired, exhausted, going through God knows what, but something about getting on that stage, touching that mic, and hearing that first laugh just does something for you.
And some people must grab, you're right, the microphone, something about stand-up comedy, that adrenaline rush of when you get that mic and you're introduced and you get up there, like she said, that first laugh is like that boost, like somebody shot the boost in your arm, and then everything else is history. Now, but when I watch you, and this is coming from a fan standpoint, even though you're my good friend, every time you touch a mic and I'm in the building, you're not one of those comics I can like go to the back or not pay attention. I got to watch. So when I'm watching, as a king watching a queen, is so inspirational, motivational, right? I can only imagine. I'll immediately turn to the crowd. I'm that guy. Like I'll be at a show just because I'm not looking into it, I'm taking it in, and I'm looking at faces and reactions. And if I'm inspired to the level I am and motivated, I'm looking at the women like, yo, they can only be 100 times that to watch this queen up here manipulate and mold that room into what she wanted to be. And I don't know if you feel that. I don't know if it exudes that, you know, and you feel it in your bones or whatever the case may be. Like I feel that when I'm rocking and there's some like other comics in the building, I feel that through comics. Not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily touch me person to person, but comics is up. I'd be like, okay, them young dudes were in here, they learned something or whatever. How does that feel translate to you?
You know, I think it's the teacher in me, because I have an education background. It's like anybody can go on stage and make people laugh, and then they go on about their merry little way. But something in me, that teacher in me, wants to feed people, wants to drop them seeds. It's like, you know, when I was on stage this past weekend here in Atlanta, you know, my set went completely left because, for one, I couldn't remember half my jokes. It's been too long. I gotta go watch. I literally have been watching footage of myself stealing my own shit. How about that?
That's so funny.
I know the feeling.
Because, like, literally, I was on stage like, how the hell did that joke go? But when I realized that I was as an actress, you're taught to stay in the moment, and you bring that on stage as a comedian. That no matter if I forget a joke, I don't break the moment talking about let me try to figure this out. No, I'm gonna shift to stay in the moment. You know, that camera's still rolling, them people are still waiting for a laugh.
Right.
So my whole set shifted into realizing just how single I was in quarantine. And this stuff was coming from my heart. It wasn't even like a well written out bit. It was just
Right.
literally the observation. And when I tell you chicks was jumping up, throwing napkins, screaming, girl, you better say it. And I said, oh, I have touched the crowd. That was so funny because Big Spike in LA, he called me Preacher Brown because he said I be coming in there motivating them hoes.
I
He said
crazy.
Coco be coming in here motivating these hoes and getting them all feeling like they worthy. I said you
That's so
daggone
funny.
right. That's what I'm gonna do. You know, anybody can come in here and make you laugh and be shocked that someone's saying something really dirty or blue or off the wall. But the educator in me wants to go on stage and make you go, dang, I'm not the only one.
Right.
Or
Right.
dang, she said it. I was hoping somebody would say it. Or, just people always hit me up later. If not right after the show, they hit me in my DM and they're like, oh my God, you don't know how much I needed to hear that. Or I've had men say, I'm so glad I bought my woman and she heard that coming from a woman because if I
Yeah.
say it,
Yeah.
I'm wrong. I mean, so to me, you can come and quote me a joke I do all day long, but if you come and tell me I touched you, I moved you, I enlightened you, I opened your eyes to something, I educated you, I don't know, that just has more power to me. So it's like I've always been there, and Fat Doctor, God rest his soul, used to always say, any comic can make you laugh, but a real comedian can make you think.
And that,
Right.
yeah, and God
Yeah.
bless his soul. One of the greatest dudes you ever meet in
The
comedy
greatest.
was the Fat Doctor. That's the big homie.
Yeah.
Twyla, question for you. Um, and I'm gonna take the angle of manager slash agent because you booked a lot of gigs, you booked a lot of commercials, you work with a lot of people. Um, is that something that like equates to that as far as adrenaline? Like when you get that booking or that call back, as the person that recommended that person, you got to feel like some sort of, you know what I mean, like a boost, like.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna come right behind Coco with that one. It is. It's a rush. Um, Coco, did you say it almost feels like an orgasm? If so,
Yeah,
yes.
it does,
Yes.
especially when
It's
you haven't
like,
had one in months.
oh my God, it's like, yes. When I get that booking, it's like, yes. It's like a whole, like, yes, it is. It is. I can't, it's about like how Coco was feeling. But yeah,
Yes.
it makes you feel, it's a good feeling. And it's an even more of a, maybe like an hour long orgasm when a
Really?
client just calls you off the record and like, we want to book your client on this, or what, we know you got what we need, before, prior to them even putting out their breakdowns and stuff.
That's
And
hot.
my clients being booked off the record. Yes. So it's an amazing feeling. And every day to me is motivational Monday, on
Right.
down to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because I still work on the weekends. So it's a good feeling. And I'm excited to be, walking the path that I'm walking.
Well,
It's
I
it's,
do
it's
this
been a
show
great
every Monday.
journey.
I do this every Monday to motivate. I didn't know this was going to become the WAP episode. That I didn't know this was everybody. Everybody busting
WAP
off
can
over.
apply. WAP can apply to a lot of things. Okay. Right now
Yes.
we are just worshiping and praising. Okay. WAP can mean
Thank
many
you.
things. Me and her are
Everybody having
worshiping and
orgasm and
praising.
everything.
Yes.
Yes.
But here's an entrepreneur question for both of y'all because, and Coco, I want you to shout out, your business as well. But for the young ladies and young men who are young entrepreneurs trying to get into to figure their business out, figure what that thing's going to be that they're going to invest their time, money, and intelligence in. What advice can you give that young entrepreneur, that startup person, as far as the business goes?
If,
Um,
if I had to say any word, I would say make sure it's a passion. You know, a lot of
Okay.
people jump on what they think is hot. If you see your homegirl making a whole bunch of money selling bundles and then you jump on it, but that's not your passion, you ain't
Right.
gonna sell no hair. You know,
Yeah.
it's gotta be something in you that keeps you up at night. Was that the doggy? But
He didn't like that. He didn't like that shit. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
He's barking.
but yes, he is upset. No, he's just co-signing because he is very passionate about whoever the hell trying to get in your house right now. But I think that it's got to be something. It keeps you up at night, or it's got to be something that you enjoy doing, whether you're getting paid or not. You know, a lot of people jump on bandwagons because they see it's hot. A lot of people jump in comedy because they think it's easy. They think it's something they can just do because they see people just blowing up after 3 months in the game or whatever. But then they fizzle off because it really wasn't your passion. You were out here bull crapping and you got exposed. And I think with anything, getting into your own business, it has to be a passion. It has to be in you. It keeps you up at night. It gnaws at you. You can't stop thinking about it. That's the only way, because it's hard starting your own business. It's hard maintaining a small business. So that heart's got to be there from the get go.
I like that. I like that answer because that makes all the more sense in the world. How far a business will go. It's to the passion. You know what that reminds me of? Like, what comes to mind when you said it was the Manhattan Proper Cafe, right? It's been there forever. It's been a staple in the comedy rooms our whole careers. And then the father who owns it passes away, and the kids don't have the passion. So it's like we're selling, and we're on to whatever, buying a house, moving down south, whatever their thing was. At least they knew right out the way, like that was our dad's passion, and he kept that running. Now he's gone. None of the kids have the passion to keep it going. And as if you've been going there and you come up on this place, you're a little heartbroken, but you have to understand and respect that it could have been worse. They could have tried to keep it going without that passion.
And we've seen that talent.
Yeah.
Have we not seen that
We
with
have
clubs
seen that.
that were just the echelon of the Black comedy world? It was like a rite of passage. Somebody older, wiser leaves or passes away, and the kids take over, or somebody in the family or whatever, and it goes to crap. And it's like, you knew that's not what you wanted to do. Why would you take something that we had in such a high regard and just, we've seen it.
We've seen that happen. Twyla, what would your advice be to that young upstart entrepreneur? Because you're in a difficult spot. Like, some people take that for granted, but I don't take that for granted. You got a lot of competition in what you do, young lady.
And ain't but like 5 Black ones.
Yeah. You got,
And
and
then
I
it ain't
wasn't
but like
even count,
4,
and
like
I
3
wasn't even
females.
counting the Black ones. Look,
Right.
I
That's like
wasn't
3
even
females.
counting the Black ones.
Right.
Well, I would say you have to. It does, like Coco said, it has to be your passion. It has to be something that sometimes you can't rest until everything is where you want it to be. So you have to be consistent with what you're doing. You have to maintain great relationships with the right people that are going to move you in the right direction. I left a full, I won't suggest this to everyone, but because I was so hungry for starting my own business, I left a full-time gig to opening up my management company. So I did pray a lot, and I stepped out on faith, because when you go from working to having a regular check, and you go for I'm still in that same position. I feel like if you don't book, you don't make no money. So it's the same thing on you guys' end. If you don't book that gig, you audition for it and you don't get it, then you don't get that check. So, I knew that I was going to be up against that because I was used to getting a regular paycheck, but I prayed on it. And, sometimes when you pray hard for something, God will, make a way for you. And he actually was on my team with my decision. And I started Top of the World in '08, and here I am still standing and still, pulling clients. And, over the years, I've built, great relationships. So I would, say to someone coming in the game, make sure you make your contacts with the right people that are going to move you in the right direction. And, just look out for your best interest, because, everyone is not out for your best interest, and you have to be smart. You have to play smart. You have to be, actually, you just have to be ahead of the game. You have to stay humble. Sometimes sometimes people, can pull you out of character, but you got to know how far you're going to let someone pull you out of character. So it's stay humble, stay consistent. Like Coco said, it has to be something that is your passion. Right. And you know it. You know it. Like, you guys have been in the game so long with this comedy. It's no question this is your passion. To me, I feel like when you make when your job pays your bills, and and that's how you make your income, and you do this every day, it has to be a passion. So I know how you guys are feeling right now with not being able to get on stage. Coco, I know you're getting back to doing what you're doing, but I know it just feels good. Talent, I know it feels good for you to come on and you pulling all your people from all your social media platforms is tuning into you. Coco, they tuning into you. They tuning in to Girls Night In on Saturday. So, whatever you do,
right,
those out there, just stay consistent with your craft.
Well, that rolls me right into my next question, because I only got 2 more questions. I'll let you guys go. This next question is, because we're all connected to this thing called comedy by one love relationship or the next, you business-wise, us stage-wise, when did you fall in love with comedy? People always ask, what was that movie? When did you fall in love with hip-hop? No. When did you fall in love with comedy?
For me, it was when I did the Apollo. I think that was some kind of validation, rite of passage. I grew up watching this show. I grew up watching comedians come on that show and get booed to oblivion. I watched comics go from that show and become huge stars. And when I stepped on that stage, not once, but 5 times,
wow,
and didn't get eliminated till round 6.
Right?
Yes.
And it's funny because God rest his soul, Rashid beat me.
Yes.
And that something in me clicked. That it was like, because I will be honest with anybody. I never knew stand-up comedy was my destiny or my passion. I grew up so traditionally Southern. I'm supposed to be, married with a bunch of kids, going to my parents' house after church every Sunday. I was not supposed to do this. My parents, I was in cotillions. I was a debutante. I mean, I grew up. Look, I was more Huxtable than I was the Evans family. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real.
Right.
And and when I first started doing this, of course, my mother was like, "You're doing what? You're getting on stage and curse in public? What?" But I think that moment with Apollo and knowing, because I know a lot of you cats, like, you Talent and Will and JB and Freddie Ricks. I mean, you guys, I always credit you guys for raising me in this business. When everybody asked me, what was it like coming to business? I said, I was raised by wolves. I said, I was raised by beast, because you guys never let me just be a female comedian. I will never forget that night as long as I live in the Boston, when you threw me up after everybody. I peed on myself a little.
That's
but
hilarious.
you know what? that broke any fear out of me of anyone I followed.
Yeah.
It broke the fear. It made me trust my gift, trust my talent, that you fear no one. I have now gone on to follow Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, some of the, I followed Tony Roberts. I mean, people are like, you followed who? I'm like, but I always credit you talent and so many of, the cats that I came up with, especially my New York, Philly cats. Y'all raised me like I was a dude in this business. And
Yeah.
and it's funny because when I moved to LA, I remember one of the first shows I did out there, I was literally told by the guy who was running the night, Coca, this LA, you ain't got to work this hard out here, baby. You can just go up there and be cute. Because, I'm going out there raw with that Bronx BBQ energy. That Nagasaki's energy. And,
You ain't gotta work that hard.
and he
That's so
literally
funny.
told me. So I would have to say, because I always say I was raised by wolves, I was raised by beasts in this business. It would have to be when I won Apollo, when I went 5 rounds on Apollo before I was eliminated. That is when I truly fell in love with it, because I felt this is my destiny. This is what I was meant to do. Yeah.
Well, I'll agree with you that Apollo in my career as well was my top motivator. But when I fell in love with comedy in general, I had to really look back and like, it was Carol Burnett show.
Oh,
It
you
was the
mean like
Carol
that?
Burnett show. Like
Yeah.
the comedy in its sense. Like because you got to realize when we were little, we didn't see a lot of stand-up per se aired. We knew it existed.
Right.
You'll see it sporadically. Then maybe like
I mean, all
Carson
we
and
knew
Half.
was Richard Pryor.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Red
what I'm
Fox,
saying.
I mean, my dad used to have these albums. I don't know if you ever heard this thing called Blowfly.
Yeah,
And they were like really dirty
yeah,
albums that our parents
yeah,
used to play when they had parties. And they would play
yes.
LaWanda Page and Red Fox, and and they were so dirty, and they forget the kids was right in the next room, like we couldn't hear all of this. So, our
But
profanity
you had to use your
vocabulary in
imagination
line.
too.
Right. We
Yeah.
didn't know really what they were saying. We just knew they said a whole lot of bad words.
Right.
but
Yeah, but
it's funny.
that's what
I
I
think the first time I ever saw Martin Lawrence on stage, it was like, wow, that must be cool to do comedy.
Yeah.
And then some years later, I ventured into the business.
And it's funny because
Wow.
everybody I seen before I started live, it wasn't like live. It was always like people that, like I didn't have the luxury of seeing somebody who was kind of on their way or already famous. Like I was seeing guys down in the trenches, but they were polished. And I remember watching like, yo, that's what I want to do. See how he started and took you on a ride and just ended. It's almost like there was no air bubbles or nothing. I said, that's what I want to do. If I'm going to do this, that's how I want it to be seamless. You know what I mean? I want it to be
Right.
total control and everything. But everybody has to have that point. Like Twyla, you love comedy. You produce it. You do it all every
I
chance
do.
you get. Like it had to be a moment where you was like, I love this.
Right.
Well, you know what?
And can we just say it must be a special thing, because to put up with all those multiple personalities, you must truly love it.
I do. Because you know what? I want to say that, I think in my past life, I was a comedian. I don't know. People would see me out. I would be at comedy clubs so much in LA, especially Comedy Store was like, oh my God. That was just like, that was my favorite. And I've been there, coming across some, the host from, Joe Clare to Alex Thomas to Joe Torre to Guy Torre, so I've been in that midst of, that was like one of my favorite clubs to go to. But people would think that I was a comedian, and and because I was always at the clubs, and this was prior to me even managing comedians. They would say, you going up tonight, or and something, I'd be like, not tonight, but I don't know. I just, I guess because I do have a funny side to me. Like I said, I don't know. I said one day I was going to go up in my own show and just give 5 minutes to to the audience just to mess around. But I think in my past life I was, and it's funny. You can't make funny up. You can't practice funny. Funny is just who you are. So I've just never tiptoed through the comedy field, but I love you guys, and I know
you must. You must.
I do, because I know, they say comedians, they all have a little twerk to them. And, I'm not a comedian. I'm not a comedian, but I know, I got a little twerk to me too, so, hey, it's okay. It's okay. We all good. But I tip my hat to you guys, because it's, to stand on stage and make a whole arena or a full club laugh all at once. That's something great. And especially because, like I said, you can't, funny is not nothing that you can practice. You can't, you may can study if you got to do a movie or something, and it's a comedy film, you may have to study that, particular character. But comedy, just to me, it comes, if you're funny, you're funny. It comes from within. And with Coco, with you, Talent, I see it. That's why I know it's your passion, because, it's, I'll pop on to Coco's live, and Coco's not even doing a show, but, I can sit in, and same with you, I can sit in and just be chuckling, and, you just doing your live. So that's how and you're not even,
You're not trying.
Motivational Mondays, and it may be a serious topic, and Talent may say something, and I'll get to cracking up, and it's real serious. So I was like, that's when they're funny. And same with you, so Coco. So I don't know. That's why I don't know. I just enjoy comedy, and I enjoy genuine funny people that are they soulful funny. And that's
I second the motion. I second that motion, Twyla. That's my favorite comedy. When I watch comedy, like, I can't sit through too much set up, knock down, and no natural ability. Like, I can listen to somebody that has a personality and funny all day because it's natural, it's organic. You know what I mean? But I could pick up a how to do comedy book if I just want to hear, the chicken cross the road. You know what I mean? Yeah, you could. So why would I sit in there and waste my time? Again, comedy is uplifting, it's healing, it's therapeutic, and more importantly than anything, it's motivation. It's motivating. Like, you got the right comic, you're going to be motivated all day, every day. You know what I mean? So, and before I let y'all go, last question is, tell the people all your social media, where they could reach you and all that stuff, and anything you got going on you want the audience to know. Coco?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Coco Brown One Funny Mama. I know that sounds like mad long, but as long as you spell my name right, COCOA Brown, put in the letter O, you'll see me pop up with a blue check, Coco Brown One Funny Mama. You guys can find me on Facebook under comedian Coco Brown, as well as Twitter, Coco Brown 22. And if you guys are familiar with Bigo, BIGO, you can check me out there now under the Coco Brown. And you guys can also check out my businesses, my other passions, the Coco Brown Collection, which is a CBD infused line of bath scrubs and body butters. And 10% of every sale goes to Lupus Foundation for lupus research and support. And you guys can check out, if you're into edibles and you need something to take the edge off in all this crazy pandemic. You can holler at me at cocascravables.com. And there I have an assortment of homemade baked goods by yours truly: cookies, brownies, muffins, cupcakes, pound cakes. I do special orders. I've done banana puddings, I've done cheesecakes, and I also have gummies as well, wonderful gummies, and they're all CBD and or THC infused to your liking. And we specialize in insomnia, anxiety, and pain relief. So just let me know what you need. And like I said, cocascravables.com. You also can find me at thecocobrowncollection.com. And if you just follow me on Instagram, both of those are in my bio on IG.
You got some in the car right now?
I do not, but I have some at the house. I don't. I literally just got
Just
the most beautiful card. No, I don't. I don't. I've got my little one, so I don't indulge. I don't indulge when I've got him. Now when he goes to bed, but
and
but
that's one funny mama.
Yeah,
yes, buddy. That's why
exactly.
y'all be getting them IG lives at night after he go to bed and I'm a little off because I done took my happy gummies. Um, and you guys can check me out in the Hallmark movie this Christmas called A Cupid for Christmas. And if you want to catch up on 911, you can go to Hulu and on demand. I'm on 911 as well. Also, a show on Netflix called Never Have I Ever is on there as well that you can check out. And I'm actually shooting starting tomorrow the Philando Castile story. I'm playing his
Oh,
mother, and
nice.
if you know who Philando Castile is, he's the young brother who was shot in Milwaukee in the car with his
Hmm.
girlfriend
Hmm.
and his baby. And I'm playing his mother in the film, and I start shooting that tomorrow.
Well,
Wow.
congratulations, Queen. Go ahead.
Thank
Go ahead.
you, thank
Yes.
you, thank you, thank you.
How do we find you, Twyla? Talk to me.
Okay, you know how you guys say, after a comedian comes on stage, oh my God, I don't know if I can follow that. But I'm like, wow, I don't care. I don't even know if I can
I'm
follow
so
that.
dead. If it
Okay,
wasn't raining, I would jump out my car.
go, go, go.
We should,
Okay,
hey, Twyla,
okay.
we should
I,
have said,
I
and
feel
that's our
like
show. Thank you.
grabbing the mic and I don't even know how I'm gonna just, come after that. So let me get okay,
My
look.
God, my
I
God.
don't have any cravables. I don't have any of that. But guys, you can follow me on IG. That's Entertainment Manager. You can also follow Nothing But Funny, NUTHIN. So that's nothing but spelled with a U, NUTHINBUTFUNNY on IG. Please do follow Girls Night In with
Yes,
my amazing host. If you see that in the background right there, swear
yes.
I do. Girls Night In.
I'm
Please follow
behind
Girls
Twyla's
Night
head.
In. Nuh-uh. There we go. There we
There you
go.
go. Those are my Charlie's Angels right there. Trish
There
Man,
we
Grant,
go.
Twyla Johnson, Coco Brown. That's my three right there. That's my Charlie's Angels. You know what I mean?
There we go, guys. So yes, so please follow me, Girls Night In. Just how it is. It has a couple of underscores there, but long as you type in Girls Night, it'll pop up for you. Top of the world. Follow Entertainment Manager. All of that on IG. So I have a few. So make sure you follow them all. Talent. I thank you for bringing us on. I don't know what happened to
Yes.
Trish. I did tell Trish, she had to hit her up and hit her back and tell her that it was we were on Eastern time, and
Oh
I don't know
Lord.
what happened. So I know
That's
she's
all
gonna
right.
hate that
Well,
she missed it.
she's here in spirit. That's all that matters. And people know
Yes.
that we will see you. If you're on the West Coast, 8 p.m., East Coast, 11 p.m., Saturday night, Girls Night In, Coco Brown, Twyla Johnson, Trish Man
Yes.
Grant. I thank you, Queens, for your time. Thank y'all
Thank you
so
so
Thank
much.
you,
much.
darling.
This has been
Thank you,
uplifting
baby.
and motivating, and you guys, huge part. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all. I'll see
Thank you.
y'all in
Love
a
you too,
minute.
baby.
There you
Thank
go.
Bye.
you.
Thank
See
you,
y'all
baby.
in a
Love you,
minute.
baby. All
Those
right.
are
Love you,
my
baby. Bye.
See
ladies and
you.
gentlemen, that's my Charlie's Angels crew right there, minus one. Trish probably, I know she got the time messed up the first time, so probably on top of that had something to do. So now that's what I'm gonna do. I'm walking here because I'm losing my daylight in there, so I figured I'd come out here and give myself some more light and come into the kitchen to my Hall of Fame dog wall. See this picture that's gonna be behind me right here. I'll give y'all a nice little shot if you're looking at the video. Yeah, see the five champions. Yeah, so I'm big on my dogs, and it's funny that I say that because it's a perfect way to kind of get to the end of this show this Monday. Because with me and my dogs, and I recommend this to most people, to find you something that motivates you outside of yourself. I mean, because what's not going to happen is, as much as we have our reminders and our things to try to motivate ourselves, we're not going to, the odds are that we're not going to get it done ourselves every time. You know what I mean? You can shoot a high percentage, like a jump shot or a 3-pointer. You can shoot a high percentage, but the odds in us getting it done every single time, 100%, it doesn't work in our favor. So I say all that to say, you find that other thing that gives you motivation that de-stresses you, that keeps your anxieties down, so keeps you in a nice box and you don't fall into depression or those stress pockets, I call them. There's these pockets where you can be feeling good most of the time, but then these pockets, you hit these pockets and you're like, what the hell happened? Why am I don't want to do anything today? Why am I not motivated today? It's because you didn't find that other thing, that other outlet. So when you see me, Talent Harris, comedian, actor, disc jockey, radio personality, host extraordinaire, do all these things, is because these outlets for me helps me as much as I help people, if that makes any sense. Like, I may come on and talk somebody off the ledge on a Monday, but the fact that I was able to talk somebody off the ledge kept me off the ledge. So we are our brothers and sisters keeper. To each one teach one. We say it a lot. I just hope that we practice it. If not twice as much as we say it, then we'll be a better place. You know what I mean? So you got to stay motivated. If bringing these ladies on today, especially to my sisters out there who are hearing my voice, especially to you queens on the come up. If these women, and we had 2 out of the 3, Twyla Johnson and we had Coco Brown, actor, stand-up comedian, queen, and all that, and our new entrepreneur, you heard her businesses and everything. If these women don't give you a sense of motivation, then I don't know what will. These are women, you heard Coco. Her life was not even supposed to be this. She's not one of those comics that, I always knew I was going to be a comedian. She said, no, down south, my father raised me to be this. I was supposed to be with all the kids and at the house on Sunday dinner and all these things, but it didn't happen that way. God threw her a monkey wrench in those plans and threw a whole new set of plans. But more importantly, she rose to the occasion. Not once, not twice, more than 3 times. And so now you have Coco Brown, the great stand-up comedian. Now you have Coco Brown, the famous actor from Tyler Perry's For Better or For Worse and 911 and all these other TV shows, the OJ Story and all the work that she's done in the acting form. Now you have the entrepreneur that got the CBD oils, selling the products, the bath products, all that stuff, the edibles, helping people through, things with ailments and insomnia and stuff like that. Then you got Twyla Johnson, who's responsible for a lot of people like a Coco Brown who gets all that work. Through her efforts and endeavors and her know-how in the business of being that booking agent and that booking manager and that caster or producer of a sitcom or a TV show or a commercial, she does all that. So again, if you're young not even that young, age is not a thing. You could be their age and just be young in the business. Whatever the case may be, everything is done for a reason. These women are on here to help motivate, and somewhere in the episode you heard, one of the dogs, that's Bruno, named after Bruno Mars, Bruno going crazy with the barking. And that's because, he's doing his job. Somebody comes around the house, he hears something, he going crazy, whatever the case may be. But dogs, you see this picture once again, this is my Fab Five. And this picture right here, these dogs are not even here. Like, one of them is still here, 4 passed away. So there's another 4 change of guards in the house. But they're around me because I know how they make me feel. I know that if I leave this house, come in here on a regular day and something has depressed me, something has stressed me, something has got me upset or got me down or anxiety's flying high, I know that when I come home and get around them, it brings me back to equal space and footing where I need to be with a sound mind and body to go on and do what I got to do. Right. So I say all that. I'm glad he rolled by me and made me bring him up, because this is what I want to bring up to other folks. You know what I mean? And your thing don't have to be a dog. I don't need you to be a replica of what Talent's singing. That's not how this works. How this works is you find your thing. What is the dog in your life? What is the peacekeeper in your life? What is that thing? Is it a sport? Is it a certain type of programming on television or radio that you listen to? Is it a person in your life? A mom, a dad, an uncle, aunt, or your children? Is it a place you go? Is it some people with cigars, you go to cigar lounge. Whatever the case may be, we have to continue to remind each other to step into that place, find that place, step into it, let it work for us. Let it put us in that zone that's going to breed what we need to breed. And that's humanity. One thing you learn in the pandemic in this shutdown and quarantine is how much we need each other. How much is human nature just to have human correspondence back and forth. All right. And with that said, find your thing, man. Stay motivated. Stay up. This has been another Monday, Motivational Monday. And I want to applaud my guests. Another round of applause for Girls Night In. If you're looking for something to do, go to my Instagram, Talented Comedian, go to Coco Brown, One Funny Mama, Twyla Johnson, and just tap into that Saturday night. You know, if you're on the East Coast, it's 11. You're on the West Coast, it's 8. But you get to chop it up with these greats. And you get to ask the same questions that I'm talking about now if it ain't clear enough. And you may have another question or bump in the road. All right. So hopefully we'll see you there. Thank you to my guest, Twyla. Thank you, Trish Van Grant was here in spirit. Thank you, Coco Brown. And again, stay motivated, man. It's Motivation Monday. It's your boy Talent. Deuces.